Hi everybody, it's Amy, also known as Aussie Stitcher in Texas, here on Flosstube and over on Instagram. I'm here with you today at the beginning of January, it's January 2nd, to show you my WIP parade. So it is the WIP parade season, as we all know. Thank you so much for joining me, for choosing to join me today. I really appreciate it. So today I am going to go through the 15 WIPs that I am carrying over into 2025. I'm also going to do a bit of a finish parade. I have on hand some of the finishes that I've done. Some have been gifted, but those that I do still have, I will show you what I finished in 2024. So in 2024, I did complete 20 projects. Some of those were very small, little kind of ornament size-ish that I have gifted away to friends. So I am not expecting that kind of numbers on an annual basis, but I am very proud of the 20 that I finished in 2024. So with all of that being said, let me introduce myself a little bit. I know a lot of people find find new floss tubers during WIP parade season. So a little bit about me. My name's Amy. I live in Texas. I am from Australia originally, but I am half American, half Australian. So I do consider myself very lucky for that. I have been in the US for coming up 10 years now and absolutely love living here. Otherwise I wouldn't still be here. I love to cross stitch, as you'll be able to see. That's really the only craft that I do. I do a little bit of diamond painting, but it is really just cross stitch that I love to do. I found Flosstube like everybody did, you know, well, not everybody I should say, but you know, I came back to cross stitch really during the pandemic when I was looking for something to do with all of the free time that I had, and am absolutely loving the journey that I have been on for the last 4 years. Like I said, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you see something that you like and you continue to come back, perhaps subscribe to the video and give me a thumbs up. That would be great. So let's jump into the finishes that I did in 2024. These are in no particular order. These are just kind of the pile that I'm pulling off, but I will give you the details if I remember them as I go. So first off, one of my finishes is a little soda stitch. This is one of the pop-up stores. This is the pop-up store bookstore. It is on a 40 count verdal from BeStitchMe in the color Sand Dollar. And this is using all of the called for DMC in a 1/2 with a back stitch. I absolutely love these little pop-up stores. They come out so cute and tiny on the 40 count. And I really love how the back stitch, it is just one strand of everything, but because it's so small, I love how the back stitch is really quite bold because it's still just the one thread, but it looks a little bit bolder than if it was 1/2, if it was a 2/2 type of situation is what I'm trying to say. So that is one of my finishes. Another finish, just to keep on the soda stitch pop-up store situation, is the pop-up store cafe. This I have kind of fully finished. I do want to put something around the edge, but I've just done a little flat fold for that. This is pop-up store cafe. Same situation, 40 count verdal, 1/2 from BeStitchMe, all the called for. Another soda, I do love my soda stitches, is this little one. It's called Our Wedding Day. I'm not married, I have no one getting married in my life, but I just thought it was really cute. This one's actually a 2/2 on a 32 count, just white opalescent that I picked up from 123 Stitch. I know I probably could have done better with my placement here because I have a lot of fabric left over, but that's fine. It's very, very cute. Next up, some of the bigger finishes that I did in 2024. So this is October by the Cricket Collection. This is on a 40 count verdal in the color Catacombs by BeStitchMe. And this was using all the called for DMC. I did change out the words. So the words were the word October was called for in a silken colors, I think it was. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to use a silk for something that's going to be, I mean, let's be honest with each other, this will take me 100 years to finish, and even then it won't be out year round. So I didn't want to, you know, invest in a silk for something that is not out all the time. But everything else is called for. I did change up the fabric. The called for fabric is like more of a gingerbread color, and I wanted something more kind of moody and stormy. So I had this one, And that's what I did. So I'm trying to create some kind of system as I go. What's next? Next up on my pile of finishes is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is on a 32 count 2/2 using all the called for with the DMC conversion for if there was any fancy floss. This is a mystery fabric. I think it might be Gunmetal by BeStitchMe that I got in a like Needle Society box or something like that, I think. But I absolutely love this piece. I think she looks so great. Woo, love it. Okay, next is the Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is on a 32 count black even weave. I don't know if I can get it all in there. Using all the called for DMC. I didn't use the silks for this, I just used DMC, and this is the cross stitch version. This is not the specialty stitch. I tried the specialty stitch one, but those are just not skills that I have. So I switched to the cross stitch so that I knew I could get it finished. Next up is Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. Is this the front? Yes. This is a 40 count verdal in the color Tsunami by BeStitchMe. You'll notice it's a running theme. I have a lot of BeStitchMe fabric. I was in her fabric of the month for a little over a year. So I'm trying to work through the stash that I have. This is using all the called for colors. These are classic Colorworks and some DMC. I did want to try and have this fully finished this year. So, well, last year. Did not work, but hey ho, is the way it is. Next up is Hive Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. This is all the called for on a 32 count, just white opalescent. Again, another one I probably could have placed a little bit better on this fabric to be able to use what's left, but I didn't. I love this. I love how these colors play. It's just so pretty. Just throwing all of these on my lap at the moment, which is going to be fun for later on. Next up is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This is Wicked Witchcraft. This is on a 32 count Jobelin, I believe, in the color Naiad by Under the Sea Fabrics. This is all the called for. The only change I made is I had in my stash a fancy floss from a box. I think it's a not color and cotton, the classic Colorworks. So I changed the kind of this yellow color to that variegated, just to use it because why not? I had it in stash, but everything else is called for. Okay. Next up is Madame Chantilly, Celebrate Christmas, one of her trays. I know that Christmas is quite faint for how you see it, but in person it comes up nicely. This is a 40 count verdal using all the called for colors. And as you can see, this was not fully finished for Christmas this year. And that's actually all of my finishes that I have on hand for to show you. Like I said, I completed 20. This is just a sampling of what I have. Anything else I've kind of either given away or is out at a friend's house. So that's all I have to show you there. Great year, lots of stitching. In 2024, I stitched 174,599 stitches. Everything I stitched is on Pattern Keeper, so I was able to track that way. I'm not manually counting anything, and that is fantastic. Not expecting those kinds of numbers every year, but it is great to be able to get progress into pieces and see them finished, even if they just end up in my closet on a trouser hanger, because I'm terrible at finishing things. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put these finishes away, and then we're going to move into the WIP parade and show you the WIPs that I am bringing over from 2024 into 2025. But for you, there will be no time lapsed at all. Okay, I am back, and let's jump into the WIP parade portion of this video. So I'm going to show you in chronological order the WIPs that I have from 2023 is my oldest WIPs through till today. I have not started anything in the new year, so this is truly everything from 2023 and 2024. And if I do have any plans for the piece, I will show you as well. So first off, if you've been here for a while, you have seen this piece. This is Alternative Reality by Josephine Wall, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a piece that I really want to have finished in a 5-year period, so which means I am working on this every month to be able to see that goal. I started this on the 13th of July, 2023, so this is my oldest WIP. I will throw up a photo of what it looks like, if I can find it, from the beginning of the year, so you can see the progress that I have made throughout the year. Okay, so for Alternative Reality, in 2024, I stitched 30,385 stitches. My goal was to stitch 25,000. So I am very proud of that number, making sure that I stuck to my 2,000, obviously a little bit more per month on average, and got that goal completed. I'm also happy I was able to get kind of a little bit of a bump. So if I do have months this year that are a little bit slower, maybe it's a lot of confetti and I just don't have it in me to keep going and I get below that 2,000, it's good to know that I've got a bit of a buffer. But I also like that I am moving along really well, that maybe it will take me not the full 5 years to get this completed. So I am at 36.19% of this piece. I will have thrown up what it looked like the last time you saw it. Here is where she's at. So I am completing this in the Royal Rose method. This is an 18 count aida, easy guide, 2/1. Yes, 2/1. So she's nice and full and thick, and I love this. I love the effect that this has. I've got the full width, and then like I said, I'm over a third of the way. I have kind of the top row of pages complete. So all the way from left to right. And as much as this confetti is a killer on the monthly basis, the effect that it has is absolutely amazing. I really do like it. Okay, next up on my list is my Faces of Faery by Jasmine Becket-Griffith. Let me pull up my pattern keeper and I can show you everything. Oh, WIP parades require so much organization. So here's what she will look like when she's finished. This is the companion piece. I do have the Black Swan complete. Here is what it looks like at the beginning of the year. I started this on, I have notes everywhere, October 29th of 2023. Okay. So I have one eye done, and then I've moved across and I'm coming down on the other side. This is a contender for trying to get this completed this year. I am 39.5% complete, which is further along than I had initially thought. That's great. But to get this done in 2025 is a little shy of 2,000 stitches per month, which I can do those numbers. I'm not so worried about. However, I just wonder if I pick a different piece to do, and we shall see if, I haven't made that decision yet on what I want to do. So I can see it. Yeah, so to get this completed in 2025 would mean basically 1,554 stitches per month to see the finish in 2025. So I'm just not sure if I want another piece that I'm doing that, 1,600, forcing myself to do 1,600 stitches a month, or if I pick something that has a little bit of a lower count per month to reach the end. Haven't made that decision just yet. But that is WIP number 2. Next up on my list is Visit Narnia by Country Magic Stitch. I started this on December 5th of 2023. So this is my final 2023 piece that I'm carrying over. Here is what it will look like when it's finished. Lots of block color. I am doing this on a 28 count, just even weave fabric I picked up at Hobby Lobby, I think. And I am doing this 1/1. So it is tiny. This is not a piece that calls to me often, so I don't have any plans for it. There's no goal for me to have it finished by a certain time. What am I up to with this one? Isn't Narnia? I don't know where I'm up to with this one. Oh, there you are. I am 33.5% complete. So we'll see what happens with that one. Like I said, I'm not in any rush to see that finished. To be honest, it never calls to me. It only really comes out when it's called for in WIP Go. So that might take me a little bit longer than normal to get finished. Next up on my list, this is my New Year, New Start for 2024. So I started this on January 1st. What's the first? Yep. January 1st of 2024. This is Hyperborea by Owl Forest Embroidery. I am stitching this using all the kit materials. It is a 32 count murano. Oh, that's upside down. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. The floss is variegated. Oh, drop that. Okay, we'll pick that up later. The floss is variegated. Like I said, it's all the kit products. It is beautiful to work on. I don't have what it looked like the same time last year because I started this I started that this year. So I am 49.62% complete with this one. So this is my other contender. I'm thinking that I might try to have this finished this year, because it would mean less than 700 stitches per month to get this finished. So, oh my God, this is so long and skinny. There we go. So you can see the variegated floss. This floss is beautiful to work with. It is a dream. So I do enjoy working on this piece when I pull it out. I don't pull it out very often. It's a 32 count, so nice and big. I really do like it. I should bring it out more often than I do. So this is my other contender to break up into 12 and have it finished in 2025. What's next on the list? This is Autumn by Alexandra V Bach. It is a Heaven and Earth Designs, so it is a full coverage. This is what it will look like when it's finished. Sorry, my phone is buzzing. I'll turn that off. I started this on April 4th of 2024. This is still in a Q-snap because there's so much fabric. It is a 25 count. I am doing 1/1. It's so big and I have it in there in some sort of manageable way, so I am leaving it. I'm actually stitching this with CXC. I did make a mistake here. You can see how this is lighter than that side. I used the wrong color. I am in no means the mood to try and pick that out. In person, it is not such a noticeable difference, so I think I'm just going to leave it. To be honest, I'm on the fence about this piece. I am in just, as sometimes happens with Heaven and Earth Designs, I'm in a lot of nothing right now. It's just color, it's background, it's not making anything. So I am struggling to find motivation on this piece. I do have it on my WIP Go board, so it will come out, and maybe just with a little bit of kind of steady progress, maybe this just takes me 20 years to do. Like I said, I'm using CXC floss, so it's not like any of my master DMC are being held up because of this piece. It's a completely separate set. But like I said, it's not really calling to me right now. So we'll see how that goes. Next up is my Long Dog sampler. I started this on May 7th of 2024. Sorry, I should say for the Alexandra V Bach piece, I'm 0.87%. So it's not even 1% of the piece complete, which is also a little bit, not necessarily demotivating, but certainly not motivating. But next up, my Long Dog sampler. This is You Belong to Me. I've always loved the movie The Mummy, so that's why I am doing this one. I am stitching this in DMC 3842. This is a 40 count verdal in the color Gold Rush by BeStitchMe. This is 1/2. Nope, that's backwards. So here's what where I am at. I am, where are you? 14.4% complete on this. So this is a fantastic piece if I've been doing, for example, like my alternative reality and I've hit a lot of confetti. This is a great kind of palette cleanser for me to just pull out something monochromatic. It's one color, it's 40 count, so I can get like sometimes over 100 stitches per thread because I pull quite a long length. So it's great to just kind of sit there and go and stitch, and I absolutely love that sometimes. No plans for that one. I'm just going to chip away at that as I go throughout the year. It does call to me sometimes, like I said, because when I need that palette cleanser of not having to change color every 2 minutes. Next up is Celebrate Summer by Madame Chantilly. I started this on May 23 of last year. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. This is the third tray of Madame Chantilly that I have. Let's see where we're up to with that. I have devices everywhere. I am 53.82% on this. This is a 40 count verdal in the color April Showers by BeStitchMe, using all the called for colors. So I have completed the top 2 trays, and these, for me anyway, stitch up really fast. So it's really quite nice. Even though they are huge, it is over 12,000 stitches. They stitch up really fast because, as you can see, it's a lot of block. Sorry, I just dropped my project bag. It's a lot of block color, so nice and easy on the eyes. And again, not having to change colors too often, which is great. Okay, drop my project bag, so this is just going to go over there. Next up is Witch's Hallow by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I started this on May 27th of 2024. I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Rubios by Under the Sea Fabrics. And I am stitching this actually with CXC floss for the most part. There were a couple where it didn't call for a lot, so I'm just using my DMC, but like the black and whatnot is CXC, and the coverage is absolutely amazing. There is not a piece of fabric to be seen through that, which I'm absolutely loving because it is a Halloween piece. I mean, look at that. Can you see any fabric show through? Absolutely not. Oh, I didn't show you what this will look like when it's finished. So here's what it will look like when it's finished. All of that orange that you see is the show through of the fabric. So it is meant to, it's almost like a full coverage, but the orange is the fabric. I am 29.74% complete on this one. And this is another good palette cleanser piece because it is a lot of block color. The Halloween pieces call to me quite a lot, so I do that a bit. No plans to have that finished in kind of any particular time frame. I just pull it out as it calls to me. Okay, next up on my list is USA Quaker Flag by Vivsters. This is on a 40 count verdal just in white. This is another one I am using CXC floss on. That's what it will look like when it's finished. I do have the Australia flag as well, which I will pull out at some point. I am, where are you, USA flag? 15.79% complete on this one. Here is what where I am up to. Just working on the blue section at the moment, and then once I get the blue done, I will. I'm not sure yet if I will come across to be able to, I like to be able to see like the full width of a piece, or if I go down. I haven't made that decision yet. But another good palette cleanser piece. It's all minimal color changes, and you can just kind of stitch away and go. Because it is a Quaker though, it does have, you know, a little bit of carding involved, but for the most part, it's actually quite easy to work on. I said where I was with that. No plans on, you know, having that finished in any particular time frame, just working on it as I go. What's next on my list? This is Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. I do have plans to change that All Hallows Eve to something different, probably using Georgia Girl Stitching's conversion, because All Hallows Eve just means I kind of, to me, I really only have it out during Halloween, and I'd like to be able to have it out for longer, again, if I ever finish these pieces. This is a 40 count verdal in the color, I have completely forgot, Grog by BeStitchMe. And I'm using the DMC conversion for this. I'm not doing the fancy floss. But I think it looks absolutely amazing. Got a couple of Quakers now in my stash. I like how they, you know, kind of look like nothing as you're kind of stitching them, and then when you're done and you see the way the patterns all come together, they look really quite beautiful. So I really enjoy that. Next up is The Reindeer by Cottage Garden Samplings. So one of the companion pieces from the Year in the Woods, not Sal, Year in the Woods series, I should say. So this is what it will look like when it's finished. These are the only two that really grabbed my attention from that series, the Fox, which I've completed, and this one. So here's what it will, well, sorry, here's where I am up to. I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Hamlet by Under the Sea Fabrics. Absolutely loving this piece. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, if I didn't say, for Quaker Pumpkins, I am at 47.23%. For the Reindeer, I am 83.69. So I got some great progress in on this in December. And really enjoying that piece. Again, lots of block color, which I do like. I'm not a fan of confetti. I do understand its purpose and can see how beautiful it can make things look, but for me, I'm just not a fan of the confetti. I started that on September 19th of 2024. Quaker Pumpkins I started on August 25th. So making good progress to see how we go. Next up is my Mirabilia Persephone. I started this on October 24th of last year. Here's what she'll look like. I am stitching this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Briar Rose from Fabrics by Stephanie. I am 15.35% complete. I'm going to be using all the called for, so it's a mix of DMC and Classic Colorworks, not Classic Colorworks, Karen Water Lilies. And I did a center start and then worked my way up. Right now, I am not planning on doing the background, just because I want to get her done and make sure that she fits nicely. I'm just a little paranoid for some reason that the background, you know, I definitely know she will fit, but I just want to make sure. So I'll do the background later once I feel more confident that everything's looking good. But very much enjoying that. I actually now will chart all of my paper patterns into some pattern software so that I can have it in Pattern Keeper. I just find for me, they are so much easier to work on when they're digital. And Mirabilia doesn't do digital patterns, so I just take the time, you know, it takes me however long it takes me to chart it in so that I can have it in Pattern Keeper and very easily able to see where I'm up to, where I need to go, all of that good stuff. I do also like with Pattern Keeper, for me, when I can see, you know, I finish color XYZ, I like to then zoom out to see if I've still got thread left on my needle, if there's anywhere else I can put that, rather than like rethreading, like putting it back into my stash. If I can use up a thread, perfect. Then I've used up that thread. It's one less time that I have to thread my needle, is how I look at it. So Pattern Keeper allows me to do that just a lot easier than a paper pattern would. I also find that I miss less, I make less mistakes, I miss less stitches, all of that kind of good stuff. So to me, it's worth it to take the time to chart out something so I can have it digital, if it doesn't already come that way, obviously. Next up is my, no, Cabin in the Woods by Flossabilities. I started this on October 26th of last year. I am currently 42.88% complete on that. I'm using all the called for colors, and this is a charcoal Lugana by Zweigart, I believe. Zweigart or Witchelt, one or the other. I got it from 123 Stitch. And I absolutely love how these colors look on this fabric. The browns and the aquas. I am all the way to the edge on this side. These stars are no joke. They're, you know, it just requires counting. I was worried that you'd be able to see kind of me carrying the thread, but I'm trying to be very intentional about where I carry and how far I carry it so that it's, you know, kind of as short as possible on the back. But absolutely love this piece. It is very easy to work on apart from the counting of those stars, but the effect they make is very worth it, very much worth it in the end. Okay, we're almost at the end. Next up, we have a soda stitch. I love me my sodas, as you probably saw. This is the pop-up store ice cream shop. Very cute. I am doing this on a 40 count verdal. This is actually a remnant of that sand dollar, but I threw in some beige just because there's a lot of white in this piece and it just makes it a little bit easier to stitch. So this is where I'm at with that one. Doesn't look like a whole lot yet because the back stitch isn't in. For my sodas, I try to back stitch as I go because there is so much back stitch. Soda back stitch is very easy to do, but just because there's a lot of it, I like to try and break it up. So I will usually try when I'm working on it to do at least one strand of back stitch every time I bring it out, just to chip away at the amount that there is. And then, okay, so I started that, sorry, before we move on November 10th of last year. And I am 43.14% complete for the stitching. That's not counting any back stitching, which there is a lot of. Next up is my latest new start that I did started December 19th. This is the King of Flowers. It's a Luca S kit. The artist is down the bottom there. I can't pronounce, I apologize. So I picked up this kit from 123 Stitch. I did also email Luca S and they sent through a digital copy. So this is in Pattern Keeper, which is perfect. Because it is the kit and it's using Luca S colors, I did kind of have to put in the colors manually, which is fine. I just use the DMC conversion and I'm going off the symbol, making sure I'm going the symbol, not the number, so that I could have the colors in there. But this is on a 16 count aida. I am using the kit materials. And here's where we're at. Just a lot of kind of off-white grays and blues at the moment for the most part. I was originally intending to do this in the Royal Rose method, the way I have my other full coverage. But because it's so much block, and I started it that way, but then with the hanging threads were annoying me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stitch this kind of in Royal Rose, but I am gonna let my threads finish out rather than have them parked. Which right now is very much doable because it's a lot of block. It's not real confetti. If it gets too confetti heavy, I may switch from doing that just so I don't get lost and then end up with ninja stitches and that kind of thing. But those are all of my WIPs and all of the finishes that I was able to show you for 2024. Like I said, 15 WIPs, that's a good number for me. I might go a little bit higher than that. There are a couple of new starts I want to do in 2025, I should say. So we'll see how high I get that number. I want to try, I mean, I think I said a couple of years ago, I don't want to get above 12 and now I'm at 15. I don't want to get right now above 20. I kind of like having around the number that I have because that means I can get to at least, in a good month, at least half of my WIPs every month, which means everything is seeing progress each year and good progress. You know, I'm not someone who pulls something out and does 10 stitches and then puts it away for, you know, a year. If that's happening for me, that means that's a piece that's not calling to me, and that will, you know, will either be UFO'd or and the fabric reused for something else. If I don't want to work on it, it means I don't want to work on it. I don't want it. So I will, you know, move that piece on, which I have done before. You know, it happens. You start something, and especially for me, I get caught up in you know, the hype of a stitch along sometimes, and then when it's a mystery, there's just a part that doesn't call to me anymore, and then the whole piece is kind of done, and I've, to me, kind of wasted the time that I was stitching on it before. But so I am now trying to not join mystery stitch alongs until they're at least halfway through, or if not complete, to see that if I do like the finished piece, and then I'll just buy it at a later time. The FOMO can be real, but also controllable at times. But I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this WIP parade. It was a pretty quick one. You know, I know some people can go a lot longer, and I do try to give you details about pieces, but sometimes I am a fast talker. I do know that. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic year ahead, and have a great time. Thanks. Bye.